Hey guys and girls, Bored Now back with you. On this video I'm going to be reviewing episode 2 of One Day, so full spoilers from the start of this review as always. So Emma and Dexter did indeed spend the summer together, or she went to stay with him after he got back from his holiday during the summer. They then go their separate ways, but they keep in contact through letters. So again, two very contrasting paths. She is on like a touring play group which is doing productions that are very like political and very like socialist, so it's really capturing like the sort of 80s feel of that, and like the sort of pushback on like capitalism and the sort of the rise of Thatcherism and that kind of thing. So Emma's very involved in that stuff. She's also having a bit of a thing with like the head of the drama unit who's producing all this stuff, and it just gets a sense of that sort of really run down, low budget touring company that literally go around the country, play into schools, like, and they're all in like a minibus type thing. And it turns out then, surprise surprise, the guy who's running the thing he's a bit of a floppy-haired doofus, and that's how he turns out, because he turns out that in a way he's just using her. They're having this thing on and off, and it turns out that later on he steals one of her ideas and basically takes credit for it and decides to direct it when it gets put up for commission, and he does that behind her back. He tells her later on, but at that point it's too late. He's already been named as the director. So basically stealing her idea, and sort of characters who you definitely have to watch out for. So she makes the decision by the end of the episode that she's going to come to London to visit her friend Tilly. They have a conversation over the phone and haven't seen each other for ages. So Emma decides she wants a change, she wants out of there. There's a super cringe karaoke type performance of a Waterboy song, the Waterboy song which everybody knows, and it's a really well done scene. It's one of those scenes you've seen hundreds of times in like romantic comedies and dramas where like she's called up on stage because this touring group are all doing like karaoke's, and the guy who she's having a little bit of a thing with, who turns out to be a bit of a sleazebag, he wants her to do a duet for the Waterboy song, and like she just doesn't want to do it. Like she's kind of had enough of the whole touring thing and the whole culture at this point, and just doesn't want to do it. Like it's not really her thing. And there's this awkward moment where she aggressively insists, no, I'm not doing it, and everyone hears him, and then you get him being called on stage and him doing a terrible version as she walks out, and she sees a really nice parcel from Dexter. So the episode shows that they're both thinking of each other. They are both keeping in touch, even though Dexter, I think his storyline in the episode is more interesting out of the two, because he's gone on a family holiday, he's teaching, they're in Rome, I think it is, he mentions at one point during the letter, and his stuff is really cringe at times, but in a very realistic, convincing way, where we see him walking around Rome with his mother, and we just get a good insight to what a really demanding character the mother is, and how in many ways he feels he has to play up to almost her image, this very glamorous type image, and this kind of, I'm gonna be very flirty and sleep around and just project a certain sort of like image and lifestyle, that kind of thing. And I think those scenes are really good. Like the actress playing the mother is really convincing in that role. It's like she's very good at putting on certain appearances, but you can always tell that she's probably not the nicest person behind it all, and it's all a facade. And I think that's why they cast this guy as Dexter, because he does have this charisma about him. He has a very playboy look about him. But yeah, it is a little bit of a facade, and this episode we get to see a little bit more of who he really is, and that stuff is done very well. Like, I think you do feel sorry for him in the episode, because there's some nice scenes with the mother character, and they have pretty good chemistry, but throughout the episode she slowly kind of wears him down and slowly kind of belittles him in many ways, where she's constantly being passive aggressive, where she's talking about his future, and she's very demeaning at one point where when he suggests that he would like to be like a journalist, and it's almost like she's literally pointing out to him, no, you've got a certain lifestyle to lead. You look like a Playboy model. Well, not a Playboy model, but you know, like a male model. And you come from a very rich family. You don't need to concern yourself with anything serious like that. And then things take a turn later on, because they've been spending the day together, and she meets up with the dad later at the hotel, and it's implied that they might be getting separated, but the mother never confirms this, and the father seems to be putting on a brave face, but there's just an edge to the scene where it's like, okay, what exactly is going on? This seems like a very unhappy marriage. And it's during that scene where Dexter can tell that he's not being told the whole truth, and you do feel sorry for him in the episode. I think they get that across very well, and how he's just expected to play up to a certain role. And yeah, his stuff I did find a bit more believable and a bit more interesting than Emma's, I think. The Emma stuff was fine. I think there was bits I didn't quite buy. Like, I didn't really buy that she would fall for this floppy haired doofus, and that they would be having a little bit of a thing. But I guess that's partly the point. It's just showing you that, yeah, sometimes when you're that age and you're experiencing life for the first time and you're experimenting, then you do make mistakes. I guess it's just showing that and her vulnerability a little bit, but I didn't quite believe that she would fall for the guy. And some of the stuff with that stuff, it was fine. It was quite amusing. I could see how like some of the politics of the era was quite well done, but some of it I didn't quite buy as much. I think I did prefer the Dexter plot in this episode, actually. But you know, you had this group, and it was played quite naturally in many ways. There was also stuff where Dexter's mother mentioned how, like, Emma got drunk when she visited them, and how she made a bit of a scene. And again, it's playing into the politics. Like, I can't remember what she said, but she almost, like, she made a demeaning remark about the dad, and like compared him to like some sort of like right-wing politician. And I don't know if that's just meant to be like the mother exaggerating. I guess that's meant to be the point, because that doesn't really seem true to what Emma would be doing. But yeah, it was a solid episode. I think I prefer the Dexter plot a bit more, just because it gave us a bit more context for his life. But there was some solid stuff in both plots as well. So that's episode 2 of One Day. Let me know your thoughts if you've watched it in the comments below. Like and subscribe. And don't forget, because it's romantic season on the channel, I am watching extra films, extra romantic comedies or romance films throughout the month. So look out for bonus live streams during the month of February. But yeah, keep watching films and TV, and I'll see you again soon.